As the battle subsided, the mist began to clear and the gnomes retreated deeper into the woodland. The dwarves could now clearly see the remains of a hastily established encampment, but no sign of their adversaries. A small wooden box was seen protruding from the base of a tree. On closer inspection, a broken red and gold seal was identified, reminiscent of the unusual markings seen on the saddles in the glen. The box was empty save for 2 small gold pieces, their origin an unknown quantity to the warriors of Anvil Keep. Beyond the encampment, the thinning woodland led out onto a plain. The morning dew had exposed another trail leading towards a series of cairns, old stone columns allegedly built as a point of reference for travellers. These cairns were the last a couple of hours away walk yet. Still, the trail seemed fresh. How were the gnomes able to travel so quickly as the cairns loomed in front of the advancing dwarves? Gnome units could be seen gathering what looked like more of the gold pieces, determined to return the assumed Connor-owned treasure to the royal kingdom of Efnadraum. The dwarves and gnomes readied themselves for another attack. In today's scenario, we are going to have objectives on the table. Before we select deployment zones, players should place 3 objectives or stashes of gold in the playing area. Players should take turns rolling off to see who gets to place the first one to place an objective in the playing area, so long as it's at least 8 inches away from any edge or other objective. Scoring wise, we collect the gold and we get a single point at the end of every round for each stash of gold that is held. Deployment zones and setup, you have these 4 unique deployment zones in the battlefield. You place the objectives and then both warbands and then randomly select 2 zones from each formation to deploy within 5 inches of the zone areas. Deployment sequence uses the standard rules, and we have the twist of get to safety where the game ends if either hero is removed from play. Stephen will be taking control of the gnomes in today's game. His forces leader is going to be the Alto Mage Zizka, and then we're also going to have 6 gnome hunters and 6 gnome skirmishers in his force. I'll then be playing with the dwarves in today's game, and I've got Captain Kragnir as my warband's leader. I've then got 6 dwarf hammers and 6 dwarf guardians to make out the rest of my force. And so we are all deployed for Novus Malum. So for starters, the deployment zones in this that Stephen rolled up are the 2 on the far edges. I guess you could call it on the long board edge, even though the board's the same size, long edge of the table. You've got a warband here with 4 of your gnome hunters, and then a warband with 3 gnome skirmishers. You then also have a warband up here which has 2 gnome hunters and 3 gnome skirmishers. You've also got your Alto Mage Zigzag there as well. Now for me, on the other hand, on this side, I've got my first warband, which is a single hammer with 2 of my Dwarf Guardians. And then on the other flank, I have 3 formations deployed. This one here has 3 Dwarf Hammers, and this also has Captain Kragnir. And then we have 3 Dwarf Guardians, and then 2 of the Dwarf Hammers and a Dwarf Guardian as my last warband. So, table looks like this at the beginning of the game. Today's video is sponsored by the fantastic people at Enviro Games, our friends behind Novus Malum. Enviro Games aims to make all of their products as environmentally friendly as possible using recycled and recyclable goods. Even the miniatures are able to be recycled. If you're interested in picking up the game, we have a discount code you can use to get 5% off your orders on their website. And so, how this works for priority for the first round. We now have all the tokens here numbered 1 to 8, as that is the maximum amount of formations we'll have in the game. Except we will need to change that to 1 to 7. Alright, so we're now going to roll off, and this will see who picks the first one of the tokens out. I got a 2, Stephen got a 3, so would you be so kind to select one of your warbands first of all?
I'll start with my little archers.
With your archers, and you'll draw one of the tokens, which is 1, funnily enough, and that'll go next to them. This will mean they'll be the first unit to activate. We'll now continue this process for the entire field. So we'll come back after we've got all the initiatives sorted out. Alright, go for it. Now Stephen here has drawn an interesting token. This is the combat token. Now this means he won't place it on any unit, he keeps it on his side of the table. What will happen later in the game is that token there will allow him to choose the order of combat if there are any fights for this round. Alright, so everyone has now drawn all their combat. You can see everyone has a number next to them. This is the order in which they'll begin activating in each of the phases for the game. So, the first phase of the game after the command phase, which is deploying all the initiative tokens and stuff like that, is movement. We'll now start with Stephen's first unit. There's not too much to go with moving unless there's charges, of which we don't have any charges that can be completed this round due to the distance apart. So we'll go through all the movement and we'll let you know what happens after it's all done. Alright, so movement is all done. This is what the table's looking like. So we did have a few units decide to run. I ran here with my leader and you ran over there. I also did run with this unit here, however they stumbled and rolled a 1, so not great. Both of my units with lots of crossbows, so the 2 and the 3 there have both, only the 3 held. They didn't, I decided to move with them instead. You then made normal moves back here, so we'll now go into magic. Alright, so next we have the magic phase. So you're going to have your Alto Mage here. He's going to try and cast a spell which is Bark Skin. This will give you +1 defense. So roll a dice and see what happens. A 3, that is just a basic cast, so it goes off. He picks a unit within range, which is his own unit. They'll get +1 defense for the round. Alright, so now we are done magic. I don't have any magic as I'm not a filthy spellcaster being dwarves. So, shooting, we now go back to the first unit that in the initiative order. This is your unit here with 4 gnome archers. Now, to hit, we have hit coins. So you flip a coin. You either will roll the head side there, or you'll roll a tails. So we do have to choose fire discipline for them as well. Alright, so what you've chosen here to do is you are going to choose to do power shots with your bow, drawing your bowstrings as hard as you can. This gives you +1 to wound. It's important here because you are shooting through a forest, you will be -1 to wound, so this brings you back to your normal. First of all though, you are going to need a hit, so we'll start with the closest archer here for your little coin flip. He misses. Now you don't have anything, so we'll go to the second archer then. Coin flip, we'll need to hit. He'll hit. Now, because you didn't do choose precise, I get to pick the model that you shoot, and I am going to choose that you go this model here. So you will be on your base, so which means you will need to beat my defense of 4. So you need 4s or higher. That does not. Next, we've got this archer. You need to hit first of all, which you do. And then you've got to roll that 4+. I'm going to pick the same dude. You fail to hit again, so you've got your last archer then. Going. Will hit. You need a 4+ to wound. And he does. So now I've got an armor save of 4+. Now I do have a shield wall ability as well. And so, because I have shield wall, I'm next to a friend there in base-to-base contact that also has shield wall. I can re-roll a save roll. So this guy here has a 4+ save. He rolls a 2, so we're going to re-roll it, and we get a 4, and it's saved. Alrighty, so to start with, I am going to select Rapid and Power. Now, I do get to select 2 of the disciplines here, thanks to my Master Marksman ability. Now, because I have Reload, I can only choose Rapid if I've held. And if I choose hold as well, like I did, this means rapid can be used at long range. So, we'll go with my first one of my fighters. So, this is the first one of my crossbowmen shooting. Will miss, but I'm going to go again because I have rapid to reroll or reflip. He misses. So that's my one that's ignoring your cover. And so, we'll go the next one of my crossbowmen. Will hit this time. I'm going to select the dude at the front here.
I select.
Oh wait, yeah, you get to select, sorry.
Go at the back.
Go at the back, so you will get cover. Right, so I now need a 4 to wound him, and I do not. My last one of my Arbalests, my Dwarf Guardians, will go, and will miss. And then I'll get a reflip due to rapid, and will miss as well. God dang it. Nothing from the Arbalests. So we then have 4, which does have ranged models, but you ran, so there's no shooting there. And then my 6 stumbled, so they can't shoot either. So we go to 6 now, which is my 2 arbalests here, who are going to shoot into your dudes over here. Alright, so my first arbalest here is going to shoot over into your unit at the back there. So we will flip a coin, and it'll hit. Alright, so with all of the buffs and negatives from power, obscured, and your fun little rule, I will be 5s to wound with my arbalest, and I do not. My mistake, you actually would have been 6s to wound, not fun. But either way, I'm going to try it again. So my other arbalest will hit as well. I will need a 6 to wound. I'm going to target the archer again. So, no wounds there. And so we go to Unit 8, who only have 8-inch range. They are just out of range of the dwarves over there. So that will be everyone having activated and shooting. We now would normally go to combat. No one's got combat. Next would be our morale phase. No one has any morale checks to make. So that will be the end of the first turn. We'll score points for objectives held, which will be 1 and 1, because models within 3 inches of an objective score. So first of all, we roll off to see who picks the initiative. I got a 5. You got a 5. Stop that. You got a 4. You got a 2. So I get to pick the first one. And we'll bring back after all of the initiative has been picked. Right, so all our tokens have been drawn. We got 4 here, 3 here. I drew 6, 5, and 7. So I'm going to get all the late activations in the round, but I also opened the round as well with a 1. So we'll go into movement and come back after it's all done. Alright, so we now are up to our 3rd unit for movement. Now, we're going to do the charge. There's a plus D3 with a 1 resulting in a stumble, however. So you're going to charge my unit here, so we'll see what you get. A 4, so this means you can go around either way that you want of the building. Alright, so movement wise, we've had your gnomes just sort of move around. Sorry, they held there. They held. You've made a charge over here, to which I counter-charged. My crossbows have moved down. They've decided to run. You've moved over there, and I've moved down here. So we're going into magic next, of which we only have the 1 wizard on the table. So he will activate first. Alright, so magic-wise, you're going to try and go chain lightning with your alto mage into the formation over here. So roll a dice. 2, that will succeed. And we'll do a wound on my first fighter. So I have... Alright, so I need to make a save roll with my model. This is on a 4+ with the hammer. And I save it. And with that, you didn't roll a 6, so there's no extra magic. So we'll now go into shooting. The first unit here did run, so they won't get to do anything. Unit number 2 on the table is your unit over here, your formation here. Alrighty, so with your ranged action, you've chosen to go precise this round. This allows you to pick where your shots land. Pretty important here, because what it means is you can pick where your shots go, because otherwise I'd be picking the ones that are obscured. I've got 1 Dwarf Warrior Hammerer that is not obscured, so your first archer, see wherever he hits. He does. You will now need to wound on a 4+. He does not. His second archer will do the exact same thing, trying to hit. Hits, and will need a 4+ to wound me. Does. So I've now got an armor save of 4+. Now, thanks to Kragnir being on the table, once per phase I can re-roll a dice, so I will re-roll this. And fail still, so that will take my dwarf out there. Just a note, that's another hammer behind him that would have given me shield wall, so Kragnir's ability hasn't been used, because I would have had a reroll anyway. Alright, so next up we had these guys. However, you can't shoot on a turn in which you run or charge. They do have a rule that allows them to shoot in combat, but because they ran or charge, they can't this turn. They'll be able to in any following combat turns though. So we go to number 4, which is your archers over here. And so, starting with your first archer, seeing whether they can hit. First of all, what discipline are you going to choose for your archers this one? Alright, so they're going to go with power shots. This means you're +1 wound, which means you'll be on normal wounding. So first of all, the first model to hit out of 4 misses. Your second archer misses. Your third archer That goes off the table. Trying again, number 3.
Nothing.
Nothing, missed. And your 4th archer hits. So you'll need a force of wounds now with that. You will wounds. So I'll have a 4+ save on... Yeah, we'll go on my shield dude at 4+ save. He's fine. Alright, so my shooting unit here is the 6th activation. And we're going to go into your archers here. So start with my first arbalest. I have to go power. I can't do rapid because I moved with a reload weapon. Precise isn't going to matter because you're all archers. So the first one of these, let's see whether I can hit. Nope. And my second arbalest from there will hit. So I am a 3 to wound this time, and of course I don't. Once per phase I can do a reroll, so we will do that. Nope. And so next I've got my 3 dwarf guardians here. Gonna go into your dudes here. So first of all, first one misses. Second one hits. So I'm 3s with my power shots. Cocked. Nope. And my last model shooting gets a hit.
Yep.
And it'll be a 3 to wounds. Wounds. And a 5+ save then. No, we'll take down one of your archers. Alrighty, so combat. What happens at the start of this, first of all, is we split all combats into as many 1v1s as possible. So we would have 1v1, 1v1, and then a 2v1 here. Now, Stephen, as he has the combat token, you get to decide which fight happens first, and you're going to select the 2v1. We then each have 3 tokens. These are tokens of block, stab, and crush. They have sort of a rock, paper, scissors on what works. Block beats stab, stab beats crush, crush beats block. We both pick one at our choice, and then we will both reveal what it is. Go for it. A block, you got a stab. Block beats stab. So I will win that by the just basic rock, paper, scissors. If we do draw, if we both pick the same symbol, we draw, we then go to a roll-off. And if someone outnumbers in a roll-off, they get +1 to their roll. So because I won by using my speciality, which is block down here on the hammers, I'll get +1 to my wound rolls, which means I'll be wounding on 3s rather than 4s. That is 2, so you will need 2 armor saves on him. Of which you are a 5+ on a gnome skirmisher. Passes one but fails one, and he is taken down. So next fight, who are you picking next? Got a 1v1 with the generic troops. Alright. Alright, we'll place our tokens. Got mine, you've got yours. Reveal. I went with stab, which does beat your crush again. However, it's not my speciality, so I won't get a bonus here. So I will just be wounding on a 4+, which I do. You will need an armor save there, please. Which you do save. So reveal, I've gone with stab, you've gone with stab, so we now go a roll-off. Neither of us are outnumbered, so there will be no. So it will be a flat roll-off. I got a 6. A 6, so you're going to have to roll again. I got a 4. I got a 5. Now, I haven't used a reroll in this phase, so I can reroll up to any 1 dice per phase. I'm going to try and reroll this. And it's all 1. So I lose the combat. You now get to make a stab into my leader. I am defense 4.
So I need 4s.
Yep. And so my leader has armor 3+, which he saves. So that is that. Alrighty, so table looks like this. I'm not going to score any points with the dwarves this turn. Stephen will score a point with the gnomes, the Knarlwood. And so we go into round 3.
Today's game is played on the fantastic battle mats from our longtime supporters, Mithras Games. Top quality battle mats from New Zealand that have a variety of different designs that can suit almost any battlefield you could imagine.
So we'll go a roll-off. I've got a 6. Stephen has gone and gotten a 4, so I'll get to pick the first activation token. We'll come back once everything is put down.
Alright, so movement-wise, I have the first activation with these two guys here, and we'll come back after all movement is done, all the objective tokens are placed. Alright, so movement-wise, what has happened? We've had pretty much everything move on the table. I don't think anything is held. Except your two dudes here have held. There's nothing else they could really do when they got hemmed in by the dwarves. I did make a charge over here and got some models into a fight after you moved up onto the objective. Other than that though, we'll go into magic next. So magic wise, you're going to go with Barkskin from your Alto Mage. That's a 1. He takes D3 wounds when he does it. Oh, first of all actually, he doesn't take D3 wounds straight away. He suffers a miscast. So he now needs to roll a dice. On a 3, he must make a save, which is 4+. He does, so he is fine, but no spells go off, and that is it for magic. So now we'll go into the shooting, where we start with unit number 1, which is here. So moving to shooting, unit number 1 here is going to shoot down at your archers. So I've got to hit first. I do. So I need a 5 to wound, which I get. So you've got a save to make on one of your dudes. A 1 will not, and that'll take another one of these out, which I picked this dude because I got to pick precise. Number 2 is these dwarves over here who are going to pick precise and power. Exact same, I need a hit and then I'll need 5s. So first of all, first dwarf hits. We'll do 3 hits first, we'll just see what goes. Second dwarf does not hit. And third dwarf hits, so 2. So these will need 5s then, of which nothing. I can do 1 reroll per phase, thanks to my leader being on the table, so I will, which will be 1. And so you'll have a save of 5+ yourself. Nope, no one goes down. Right, your gnome archer here is number 3, so he's going to activate the shooting phase next. It's going to go for power. So first of all he needs to hit, which he does not. So that will be that for shooting because everyone else is in combat. Oh no, we do have some more shooting because the gnomes, because you haven't charged in either of these, are going to get to use your throwing weapons in combat. So we'll actually go over here with these two dudes first. Sorry, yeah, it will be these ones. Sorry, I thought that was your token. That's my token. I'm 4, you're 7 there. It's 5 over there. So we'll start with seeing how many hit. Alright, we have 3 gnome hunters, so we're going to see how many hits you get first. So go first one. That's a hit. Second one. So you can get another one. Another hit. And third one. Can you get a third hit here with your throwing axes?
Nope.
No, so 2. So you now need to wound on 4s. So what models are you going to go into? I'm the same, but it is just worth picking.
This group, I have to.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but I've got 1 hammerer. Oh yeah, you don't get to pick, so I'm going to pick your first hit to go into him. So roll a dice on a 4+. So you need 3s. First one does, so now I've got to make a 4+ save on my hammerer here, which he does, and I'll put the next shot on the hammerer as well then. You need a 3, and then I'll need a 4 to follow for my armor. I don't, so he will go down. So we've then got 2 gnome skirmishes here. So first one,
I'm going with power again.
Power again, yep. 1 hit, and you've got 1 more shot coming in there. I'll get to pick where these shots go because you can't go precise with an accurate weapon. That'll hit. So now you need to wound me. You'll be wounding on 3s. So I'm going to put your first one into this dwarf here. You do. So I now have a 4+ save with a reroll thanks to shield wall. Saved. Your second one will go to the other dude who'll benefit from shield wall. You fail to wound him. So we'll now go into combats. Alright, so after some maneuvers, the fights now look like this. You'll have a 2-on-1 thanks to your gnome skirmishes and their spears having reach. Unless you do a fight over a friend here, and then you just have the 1 here. So I'm going to go the 1-on-1 fight to begin with. Alrighty, so I'm going to go with this on my dwarf with crossbow and reveal what we got. We've both gone for stab. Not outnumbered in this particular fight, so it'll be a roll off. Got a 1, and you got a 1, so we'll re-roll that. Do I count as a 4 because you knocked me into a 4? Nope, you'll win the fight. You'll now need to try and wound me on a 4, which you don't. We'll now go into the 2-on-1 fight. And I'll select this one. We'll see what we get. Stab beats crush, so you'll get to try and wound me.
And I also do extra because that's what they do.
Yeah, so stab is their special maneuver, so you'll now wound on a 3. So 2 dice on 3s. Just 1, so I've got 1 armor save of a 5+. Nope. I'm going to elect to use my once per phase reroll on this one. So 5+. Nope. I'll take out my dwarf. My 2 regular dudes here will go. So roll to see what we got. I got shield. You got stab. Stab does not shield beats crit, so I'll have 2 at +1 into him. So 3s. That'll be 1. So 5 up save. Oh, he saves it. And then the last fight here, roll to see. I got crush, you got stab, you do beat me.
+1.
Yeah, just 1. So you do need a 3. Get a wound, I'll put it on my normal dude here. So 4+, he's fine. Alright, so we've got some morale checks to make. You've got your dude here. On a 1, he will flee. Nope, he's fine. Brave little soldier. I then have this dude over here who lost 2. So on a 1, no, he's fine as well. So no failed morale checks. So end of the round, I'll score 1 point. You'll score another 2. Making it 4-2 at the end of round 3. Neither hero has taken any wounds yet though, so we'll go for another priority for round 4. So rolling off to see who picks first priority token. I got a 2, you got a 6, so you're going to pick the first. We'll come back after all priority tokens are deployed. And so all the priority tokens are down on the table. I am activating pretty late in the round, but also a couple early on my more damaged units. So we'll go into movement and we'll come back after it's all done. So movement all done. You did try to hide your little gnome archer there. I've got 1 crossbow that can see him after my own move. Other than that is combat's drawing on. I did make a charge in here, however. So we'll go with magic. You've got your 1 wizard.
Bark skin.
Who's going to go with bark skin. So he rolls a dice. Let's see if you get it. A 1, so now roll your miscast. A 1, he takes D3 wounds. For 1. And so shooting, you have 3 of your gnomes that can shoot, so we'll try and see how many of them hit first. What discipline are you going to use with them? Alright, so you're going with power shots then. So we'll go and see how many of you hit. No, 1 out of 3 missed. Your second one hits, and your third one, your little gnome skirmishes, misses. So you got 1. I'll get to pick where it goes. I'll pick on the hammers. So see if we can roll to wound on a 3. You do. I get a 4+ save against this.
3+.
So 4+ save, and I save it. Yep. You've then got your 2 gnome skirmishes over here, so we'll start with your shooting on them, see how many of the 2 models get hit. So your first flip.
Power again.
Power again. Missed. And going again. Hits. 1 hit. You'll need a 3 to wound. Don't wound. So then we go to 5, which is your archer, so you can actually see my 1 dude, because I can see you. So what is he going to do?
Power.
Alright, yep. You're going to power, so see if you hit first of all. He does not. So I've got 1 crossbow that can see you back, so do I hit? I do. I'm doing power and precise, why not? So I will need a
payment.
Right, so I need a 3 to wound you, and I do. So your last archer. Does he make a save? 5+? He does. Alright, so combat's all done. It's a 3-on-1 fight here against my crossbowman. I'm going to pick that. Roll to see what we get. I went shield, you went shield, so it'll be a roll off. You will get the bonus to this because you outnumber. So I got a 6. You do need a 5 now to equal. Yep. No, I will still win that combat, so I will get to make a strike. So I need a 3. I get it. Well, your archer can make a 5-up save, please. Can you stop rolling 6s for saves? That would be great. We'll then go the other combat here.
I don't know.
Next up, we've got the hammer versus the skirmisher. So I'm going to go with this. You're going to go with that. I went crush, which does beat your shield, so I naturally beat you, which means I'll be wounding on 3s. I wound you. It'll be a 5-up save on your skirmisher. Finally, one of your gnomes goes down. And then I've got my crossbowman, and my arbalaster, my dwarven guardian, and roll to see what we get. I went stab, you went stab, so we are going to roll off. I got a 2, you got a 6, so you'll win the fight. You'll get to make a strike. So you need a 4s, because no bonuses on this, because you didn't win by token. You do succeed. I have a 5+ save on my guardian. I fail, I'll use my once per round reroll. Fail, and that'll take him down. We'll go to 2 regular fighters. I'm going to go with this. What have we got? I've gone stab, you've gone stab. So we will roll off. You are outnumbered, so I will get a bonus +1 to this. It's 2v1. Got a 5, so you got a 5, but I'll be a 6, so I will win it. I'll make 2 strikes. Now these will be at your normal defense of 4 because I didn't win by token. One of them will go through, so 1 armor save on your gnome of a 5+. Can you? Thank you. I saw that 6 and was about to get real mad at how many of those you've rolled on saves. You have no armor. You should not be saving that many saves. And then we have this other fight here. I'm going to select that. I've gone for shield. You've gone for stab.
You win.
Yep. So this means I'll make 2 strikes. These will be wounding on 3s because I won by which 2. So 2 5-up saves on that gnome. Am I going to see a warband depleted? Yes. Gone. Good riddance. Alrighty. That is the end of the round. You will still score 2. I'll score 1 this round. Morale-wise, no morale test to take because we only lost 1 model in any units. So we will go into priority for the next round.
Today's video is sponsored by Baron of Dice, high quality, specially made tabletop wargaming dice, suitable for a wide variety of wargames from Conquest: The Last Argument of Kings, Marvel Crisis Protocol, and Infinity as well, among many, many others. Baron of Dice have dice just about suitable for any occasion you have.
Right, so priority for turn 5. I got a 6. Stephen got a 1, so I'm going to pick the first priority. We'll come back after all priorities put down. Alright, so we'll have all the objectives drawn. We'll now go into movement and we'll come back after all of this is done. Alright, so this is what it looks like after movement. I ran with both my unengaged units. We're going to go into magic next. Magic wise, from your Alto Mage, you're going to go with Barkskin. Goes off, well, that'll be the only spell you get this round. So then we'll go into shooting. I will literally have none, so you'll go to 1, which will be your archer here, trying to shoot here. What is his discipline going to be, or what type of shooting is he going to try and do? Right, he's going to elect to power with your archer, so do you hit first of all? Most important. No. So that will be that.
Beginning to panic.
You do have 2 dudes who can use throwing weapons in combat over there. So we'll go with them next, because they're the only other shooters for this round. First one misses. Going for power, I'm assuming. Sorry, Stephen went with rapid, not power. So this is his reflip here. The first one. This is the reflip on the table this time. Fails, that's what you get for flipping it off the table. And then your second gnome skirmisher, the only other one, hits. And so you will need to wound on a 4. You do. For an armor save, I'm going to put it on my shield dwarf there with a 4+ save. And a save. And so you have combat selection. So first of all, we've got pile-ins to do if we need to. You get to go before me. And so the only combats we've got, which one do you wish to go first? Because you have the combat token.
This one?
Yep, so it's going to be 3v1. We're going to pick this. I went for a block. You went for a crush. You beat me. Crush beats block. So you'll be +1 on this with 3 strikes.
Heals.
So you're going to have one of these at +1 on the crush, which will be for your auto mage. So we'll roll him first because he wounds on a 3. He wounds, and then the 2 other gnomes in the combat there will wound on 4s. 1 fail. 1, 2. So I've got 2 saves to make. These are 2 5-up saves. Pass 1, fail 1. I haven't made a roll this combat yet, so I'm going to try and keep myself alive. No. Then we have the next combat here. We'll go with this. What are you going to go with? I've gone with Crush. You've gone with Stab, which beats my Crush.
And both of them bonus.
And both of them bonus with Stab. Nice.
Yep.
So 2 of them. Needing 3s. Both. 2 4-up saves. Fail both, and he goes down. And so, end of the round. The gnomes are going to score a point. I'll score 2. There is no morale to take table wide. So, we'll go into the last round. So, first of all, we're going to roll off to see who gets to pick the priority tokens first. I've got a 5. Stephen got a 1, so I'm going to get to pick first. I'm going to pick there. So this is how the initiative works out. Stephen is going with all of his stuff first, then me. We're playing a you go, I go game now. Alright, next up we have Magic going. So
Bark.
you're going to go Barkskin.
Yep.
Please fail this. Nope, goes off. That'll be the only spell you cast though, so we'll go into shooting phase next, which will start with your 1 plucky little shooter.
Lucky.
What's he going with?
I'm going with power.
Going with power. Go for it. He hits, so you'll be wounding on a 3+. Wounds. This is a 5-up save. I can use my reroll here, which I will. Right, 2 gnome skirmishes here. We'll go power attacks. So first one hits, and the second one will miss. So one of them, you will need a 3 to wound. You get it. I'm going to go one of the 2 dwarves here with shield wall for a reroll. Saved. I then have my 3 crossbows here that are going to shoot into your plucky little gnome. So 1 missed. We are going to rapid, so we are going to get a reroll on that. Because there's no reason to do the precise when you're 1 dude. Nope, missed. Second one will hit. And my third one will hit. So 2. So these will be 3s to wounds. Both. So 2 5-up saves then, please. 2 5-up saves. No, he goes down. He is stuck with a couple of bolts like Boromir this time. Alrighty, so the fight's been split. We've got a 2-on-1, a 1-on-1, and a 2-on-1 here. We're going to go this one in your advantage first. We are going to go with Smash Shield. I will beat you. Smash beat Shield. So I'm going to go Stab on your, or rather, Fight on your gnome. I don't get the bonus because that is not my special thing. So it'll be a 4, which will wound. Oh no, 3. But either way, still wounds. 1 armor save of 5 up on your archer.
Saved it. God dang it. My character here will then go fighting. Go to one-on-one next.
One next.
Go for it. Gone with block. You've gone with stab. Stab does beat block. No, stab. No, block beats stab. So I'm going to win that. However, that is not my character special one, so I will still just be wounding on a 4 here. I don't, but I'm going to use my reroll. I still don't. Oh dear. And so last fight here is my 2-on-1. So can we go with that? I'm going to block. You're going to stab, which means I win. And this is my special one, so I actually will wound on 3s here for 2. 2 5-up saves on your gnome. 1, so he gets murderized. End of the round though, I'll score 1, you'll score 1, which will mean it will be an 8-6 victory in favour of the Gnomes of Knarlwood.